It should say live any second now. Live! So we are live. We are live, ladies. We are live. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Simply Together show on Tuesday, the 12th of March. As always, we have two absolutely amazing guests today. We have Rachel Goff. Woo-hoo! Give it up for Rachel. And we also have Michaela Williams. Give it up for Rachel. In the house. Hopefully we will be joined by my colleague Nike in a moment. But Michaela, if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of there she is. She has just arrived. Woo! Yeah. This is Nike, everybody.
Get me up. Oh, there you are. Oh my God, I'm all excited.
Hey, Nike.
Hi. How are you? I know, I get excited. When I get to do this from home, I get ultra excited, guys. So I'm really sorry if I go at like 100 miles an hour, but yeah, I know.
That's excitement. I've already briefed them, Nike. I did brief them how bad you were going to be, but we'll get the back. So Nike, without further ado, as they say, myself and Michaela are going to go off screen. I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Rachel to take care of part one.
Right, clear. Oh my God, that was just in time, wasn't it? So hello, how are you? Oh, we've got the moving screens. Okay, we'll just have to focus and not take any notice of the screens. So Rachel, hi, it's nice to meet you. How are you?
Good, thank you, Nikki. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So I understand you're from Flying Start. My glasses are not glassing today. So yeah. Okay. So right. So just for the benefits of our listeners and for myself as well, really, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, about the organisation you're representing, that would be really great.
Okay, so my name's Rachel. I'm the Healthy Lives Coordinator for Flying Start, which is part of the Family Luton Hubs project as well. So I deal with, or I work with parents with children under 5 years of age, and I do anything that's kind of nutritional based. So it's kind of anything from breastfeeding right through to starting solids and healthy eating as a family. So I also coordinate the Henry programme in Luton.
All right. Oh, that's amazing. So coordination kind of comes through there. So you mentioned a couple of topics of interest. So for example, you mentioned about breastfeeding. So how do you facilitate around that?
Okay, so we have lots of breastfeeding cafes throughout Luton. So we have lots in our different centres. So they're available for parents to come along and drop in and have that real sort of education and power through other mums to breastfeed and continue breastfeeding. So it's really powerful when you've got that mum and mum support. It's really lovely because they're all on a journey. So it's really lovely to see that as well. So it's really good.
That sounds really interesting because I was curious as to whether it's I feel there's always mixed messages socially about breastfeeding, and you know, some people, for reasons best known to God, I would say personally, they seem to take offense if they see a lady breastfeeding in public and stuff like that. So that's where I thought you were coming from when you said breastfeeding cafes. So in actuality, it sounds more like a support group.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. A really lovely support groups, as I say, across Luton on different days of the week. So we're there, and because you know sometimes breastfeeding can be a bit challenging. It's not always like, does it always get off to the great start that we want it to? So yeah, we're there to support mums and continue on that journey. And as I say, the peer support is amazing, and it's just lovely to come along and have a chat with other mums that are there. So it's really nice.
Okay, so obviously that's obviously a really good nutritional start where you said there, because I think I read somewhere about helping families to create nutritious meals on a budget, which I think is a big topic at the moment.
Absolutely. And you know, we're all aware of that cost of living crisis that's going on at the minute. So it's kind of like just really supporting families to kind of eat well for less. And we've got a lovely workshop coming on board.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so we've got a parent group session that's going to be taking place on Zoom next Wednesday, the 20th of March. So it's accessible to all Luton families that have got children under the age of 5. It's going to be from 1 until 2:30 in the afternoon. So come and join us. The workshop, we're going to be looking at helping families to understand what it means to eat well and have that healthy, balanced diet. It's going to increase their knowledge around their shopping habits by looking at planning those meals before they set out and having that list, so they kind of stick to a list and don't go off on, like, you know, on a buy one get one free aisle.
I don't fit into the category of the people that can come to the Zoom, but I definitely am somebody that never sticks to a list. I'm terrible. I will write it and I'm like, oh, I didn't remember to put this on. So yeah.
Yeah, it's remembering once you're at that till to kind of think, actually, I didn't need those, you know, those apple turnovers. I can put them back, actually.
Oh my God.
And it's also looking at those cost-effective ways of cooking, you know, looking at, like, there's, I know air fryers are huge at the minute, aren't they? And there's lots of great YouTube tutorials of how to use an air fryer and your microwave, and it's particularly slow cookers as well, because they can stay on all day and you can buy those really sort of low-cost meat.
My colleague that sits next to me, she's a mum of 2 young boys. And she always said, I said, what did you do yesterday? Somebody said, oh, I did this in the slow cooker. Oh, I did that in the slow cooker. And the other thing that she does in the air fryer that cracks me up every time, and yeah, sorry, it was a bit of a pun, is that she boils her egg in the air fryer.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you. When she said that to me, I'm like, what are you talking about?
How are you boiling an egg in an air fryer?
Exactly. She said she puts it in there for a few minutes and it comes out brilliant.
Oh, amazing.
So, I mean, so it is that thing, isn't it, about being cost effective, and because another thing that comes into it as well, apart from the cost, is the time. So
absolutely, you know, and a lot, you know, these families are busy, aren't they, getting their children to and from school. So, you know, when you're coming in from a long day and coming through the door and you're smelling like something already cooking in the slow cooker, you're like, whoa, I'm already onto it. So yeah, and it's kind of like, I suppose, really looking at how to not waste so much food as we do, because you know, we tend to buy more than we need, especially around especially with Easter coming up, because the children are going to be off school, we're going to be buying all those extra things. It's kind of like, you know, keeping like that waste option to a minimum as well. So yeah, hopefully this course will give parents lots of opportunity to, you know, sort of just, you know, kind of get that difference.
And the course, is it free?
It is, yes, absolutely.
And is it a one-off, or are you intending to perpetuate it?
Yeah, we're going to roll it out again in the future. So this is, we tried to do it face to face, but it didn't work so well. So we're trying to get online and put that in place. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So we've got a comment here from one of our community members, Sharon Hill. She said, very important as the debate continues around free school meals along with the protest, highlighting this. Oh, I'd love to know about the protest. But yeah, so it is important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good to kind of, you know, let mums know and parents and families know, you know, that free school meals is out there, because actually sometimes it's the only hot sort of option that children have throughout the day. So, you know, it's kind of, you know, making sure a lot of schools have done away with the kitchen areas. So it's kind of, you know, having
sad
it's
for
really
so many
sad.
Reasons.
I know.
For so many reasons. I understand that it might not be. I suppose, where do they strike the balance? Because in my head, I'm thinking, I know, and I'm probably showing my age here, but you know, like when we were in school, like as in we, you know, the kitchen staff were part of that school staff.
Absolutely.
And you would see them outside and, you know, in the playground, and it was all, it was like its own community. And we seem to have gradually moved away from that via outsourcing and contracting and stuff like that, pretty much the same way they've done in the hospitals. And it makes me curious as to whether that kind of has an impact on, you know, on the kids, on their relationship with food and how to behave, and, you know, I don't know.
Absolutely. And we've heard there's a lot of debate on healthy lunch boxes as well at the minute, and how, you know, costly that is for parents as well. And they tend to go for those high fat, high salt options. And actually, it's
because they're cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're
It's cheaper than the fruit and veg, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, okay, I can't speak for Iceland because I'm too lazy usually. I'm too cold to go in there. But I tend to shop at Lidl and Aldi. And the other day, I actually complained. I said, but look, I've got 2 bags here and the price has doubled. And the lady at the checkout said, as she just pointed, it's the vegetables, because I had like tomatoes. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we're telling people that you can make a thing with it. But I must admit, there weren't the normal family pack £1 bag of tomatoes, because I don't really like tomatoes, so I can. But the point is, people want to be able to have nice things there. And Dee Bailey has asked a question here, said, do you have to be a young parent to attend?
No, absolutely. Any parent of any age can come along, as long as they've got a child under the age of 5.
Right. Okay. So the parent doesn't have to be young. The child needs to be young. That's the marker there.
Yeah, that's the narrative.
So by that extension, I'm assuming that grandparents will have responsibility for. Okay, I'm probably getting a bit civil servanty now, but that's my background.
Parents, carers, grandparents. It doesn't matter. Come along.
Right. Okay. So, you know, Ruth, at the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that apart from the healthy eating, obviously I know I homed in on the breastfeeding, but you did mention quite a list of things that you coordinate. If you want to tell us a bit more.
So we also support parents with like starting solids when their children are at that 6-month stage. So yeah, we have a workshop for that as well, so they can come along to that. A couple of months after that, they can come along to them the starting solids next step that we also deliver. And then we also have a fussy eating workshop, because we know parents really struggle with that around about 2 years of age. Children become very fussy around eating. So we also have that sort of workshop to come along and just support parents to get their children to eat a variety of food as well, because we kind of want it from all of the different food groups as well, not just kind of focusing on 1 or 2. So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard, it's difficult for parents to have that balance. And as you said, it comes down to time as well.
Yeah. So Sharon's got a really good comment here. She's and I do agree with her. It's really strange, where she said she can't get her head around having a 2-course meal. So obviously she comes from the era where you got milk free at school, and then we're growing up in a time after war. That was obviously after World War II. And then now we live in one of the wealthiest countries, supposedly, and we can't afford to feed our children in school without it coming to the well, no, I'm just adding a bit there, because it does come to the detriment of the other families. You know, when you link it into other initiatives that we have heard about as well, you know, where you've got families choosing between buying sandwich towels for their teenager or buying a loaf of bread to feed the whole family. I struggle to make that really make sense.
And it's it's a crazy time, isn't it? And I think it's kind of, you know, really looking into what, you know, when we go out shopping and looking at our shopping habits, you know, and going for the things like our wonky vegetables and, you know, and going for our frozen, you know, veg and fruit as well, because I suppose it's kind of that you know, you are then just using a portion size as well, rather than wasting too much food. So, but as you say, going back to Sharon's comment, you know, it's kind of harsh, isn't it, that we think now that, you know, we can't give our children that extra, you know, those milk.
It's very strange. It's very strange on all levels, because I'm really I'm beginning to feel quite annoyed that the supermarkets feel able to actually discriminate between a vegetable just because it's wonky.
I know.
You know, and okay, perhaps discriminate is not really the correct word to use, but the point I'm trying to make is that if all vegetables were included in all the bulk, then all the vegetables could be sold cheaper.
Yes, absolutely.
And all the legislation that they put on cafes, so you have this app, Too Good To Go, and well, the people that could benefit from the Too Good to Go probably do not have time to sit there and be looking at the app to see what's going to come up.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's all of these things there. And then by the same token, I know this is my own pet bag, and I do believe it's related, where the government, they're so good at chasing the little people, that does make a difference in their ability to buy food, yet they're not chasing the big ones, like, you know, like the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's and the Amazons and the Googles and all of those people. But I mean, on a singular level, I really think that is a really amazing thing to do, because it is difficult to understand how to get that balance, and not understanding where the high fat, high salt is only a short-term fix.
Yes, yeah. And it's kind of reducing those sugar and salt options, isn't it? And a lot of our food is now ultra processed as well, which is not nutritionally good for us either.
No.
So it's coming back to basics and cooking, you know, having that home cooked food. And as you're saying, if you can put it in the slow cooker in the morning and come home to that smell as you come through the door at night, it's a good go win, isn't it?
Yeah, that's amazing. Dee,
Well,
do you have a slow cooker?
We need much longer.
That's what I was thinking.
We could speak for hours, couldn't we?
We need to get you back on. This is what the show is for. And a lot of people think, oh, well, we ain't got nothing better to do on a Tuesday. Well, we haven't, but that's not the point. We enjoy what we're doing. There's so many important messages. And a lot of people, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. And I didn't know this was happening. Is this the sort of thing that, I know you're running a workshop. Is it just the one workshop that you're running?
No.
It is at the moment, but we also deliver our Henry program, which is an 8-week free workshop available to parents throughout Luton with the children under 5. And it really looks at not only eating well for less, but also being healthy, getting that exercise in. But it really has that golden thread that goes through it. And then, you know, of like parents looking after themselves because they're busy and taking care of themselves and boosting their batteries to be able to deal with daily challenges. And I think that's the most important as well. So like you said, Dee, we could talk for hours about, you know,
there's so much we need to get you back on. And I know Sharon's watching. There's just so much within what you do at is it Flying Start? Because I kind of got Flying Start earlier and I kind of get it. So much, because I'm like, okay, so like my granddaughter's 6, so I'm thinking, I'm sure there's things that I know that I could learn, pass on and be sharing, but she's 6. Does that mean I can't attend?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because yes, it's like we don't want to exclude anybody, but we do kind of focus on the under, you know, parents with the under 5s. That's what our kind of main focus is.
No, I understand. But in my head, whilst I was listening, I was like, what about all those others that you know, say you're obviously, and that's where you've got to focus things on. It's got to start at that early age. But then if they've missed all of that and now you're getting to olders, I know the thing about in terms of dentistry, and isn't it Luton has got the worst, the kids?
We've got no fluoride in our water. So our dental background is really bad, unfortunately.
I think the whole of
nobody could get any appointments.
There's a lot of stuff there.
And it just links to so many different things. Something if you've got access to parents, and obviously, you know, you're looking at the kids, but you've got access to parents of that young age, what else can be brought in to support those parents?
And I think now sorry, Dee. And I think now we've kind of joined with Luton Family Hubs, you know, that sort of remit is extending. I mean, Flying Start is for the under 5s, but you've now got the family hubs that is extending to, you know, you're up to your 18s and then 25s if they've got disabilities as well. So there's a big cohort of, you know, support out there for all of sort of Luton families, you know, and I think it's good that they can kind of then, you know, kind of tap into that network as well. And, you know, we're out here, you know, and if you don't lose us, you lose us. You know, use us, we'll lose us.
So with that being said, Rachel, sorry, I was just going to ask, because it's how people can get in contact with you to get access to what you are offering already.
Yes.
Of course. So do find us. We are. You can email us at flyingstart@eyalliance.org.uk to book onto any of our courses. We've got a great website at www.flyingstart.org.uk. www.flying-luton.com to get it right. So yeah, have a look on our website. We've got lots of different sessions on. We've got some great workshops coming up in the future. So have a look. We've got a whole array of support out there for Luton families.
Well, considering this young lady and I have only spoken probably less than an hour ago, so this wasn't planned. She wasn't planned.
Wow.
Gee, she's on a serious delivery, I would say. Well done, Rachel. I'm going to anyway. I'm somehow going to get my hooks and crooks in there and be able to do a roving report, maybe, or certainly report back next week. So thank you so much, because I know you've got a busy day, and for taking time out and sharing with us today.
Perfect, and thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. It was so much fun.
Oh, thank you, guys.
No problem.
Good luck with the rest of the programme.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you. Okay, I'm now going to have a chat with Michaela, bring Michaela on, and then we'll bring you back on at the end, if that's okay.
Yep, that's fabulous. I'm really excited to hear about it.
I know. Let's see if I can bring Michaela back on. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm back.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Greetings, Michaela. Greetings. Oh my gosh. Did you know any of what Rachel's just shared?
No, that was all new to me. But it's quite useful though.
This is what, and I know sort of like, obviously we literally only connected last week, and that's because I saw some information on social media. We're going to talk about that just 1 second, but that's what this show is for. So there's things going on. There's so much going on. So many people, organisations doing really amazing stuff out there, but didn't know. But it's been shared, whether it be social media and other platforms, and people are not aware. So it's our job to get that information, and if we can get people on the show, we do, and we ask people to share, because something might not be for you, like what you're going to talk about now, but guess what, you can guarantee somebody knows somebody who is going through exactly what you were talking about. So Michaela, I want to start with, this isn't an interview, by the way, just tell us a little bit about you, and then if you could tell us about this amazing, I don't know what you want to say, but you will say, that you're doing in a couple of weeks. So tell us a little bit about you first of all.
My name is Michaela. I work full time, and I'm also a carer for my grandma who has dementia. So we established Nan's dementia journey I'd say about 2.5 years ago. And I say established because there were signs before that we didn't naturally link to dementia, but there was like signs of forgetfulness or doing quite strange things. And it was after she had her stroke a couple of years ago that she got diagnosed. So she had a stroke, and I remember it clearly. So she called me in the morning and she was like, Michaela, I don't feel well. I can't move. And she's like, I don't feel good. Grandma never says that. This is a woman who's out every single day, going to town, can't stay in the house. Even with dementia, by the way, now she still can't stay in the house. So I instantly knew something was wrong, like instantly. So I got to the house. Dad took me, and I don't know how she'd done it, but she managed to get herself in the bathroom, and she was trapped in the bathroom because she couldn't pick herself up. So I had to kick open the bathroom door, carry her to the bedroom. And at that point, she looked okay. She just looked ill, but she was dead weight. And then all of a sudden, you notice the mouth drop. It was like, she's actually having a stroke here. So we called 999. They came out pretty quickly and they took her to hospital. And it was there that they said, do you think that she's got like memory problems? And I was like, well, she's got some issues, and we've been trying to get her to the dementia clinic, but obviously there's a waiting list and we haven't had a chance to do that or get her through. So part of her coming home package, they kept her in the hospital for a while, which wasn't good for her at all, because at the time as well, they said that she had COVID. So she was literally locked in a room. And at that point, they were like, no visitors. And I was like, what do you mean? No visitors and nobody can stay with her. I was like, her memory is not great as it is. If you keep her in a room, she's going to like lose the will and it's going to make her even worse. I had to fight to stay in that hospital with Nan, or even to be able to have the right to stay with her while she was there. And it was a constant battle, like with the hospital, like especially for elderly people in that condition. So what they did manage to do after arguing, because it was like she can't stay there for so long, was they escalated her dementia meeting, and they talked to us about home care and making sure that she wasn't on her own, which is fine because she's not on her own. She's either with me every day or her other daughter, and my uncle stays at the house with them, so she's constantly got somebody like with her. So we had a home care plan, and then we took her to the dementia clinic, which was quite interesting on how they choose to diagnose dementia. So what they done was they asked a variety of questions, like, I need you to count backwards. I'm going to give you a shopping list, or can you recall stuff from your past? Like, did you get, it wasn't GCSEs at grandma's time, but whatever it was, like they would ask her about. And some of the questions, I was like, if you ask me about that now, I'm
you
like,
can't
40, yeah, I can't answer the question. So I'm like, you're asking my grandma, who is 80 odd years old, and you're expecting an answer. I'm like, surely there needs to be a better way for us to diagnose dementia in elderly people, rather than having a script book set of questions, because it just doesn't work like that, right? It literally doesn't. So we done that, and we got the dementia diagnosis. She called me, and I was a bit tearful. Like I kind of knew in the bottom of my heart that Nan had dementia, but I got the phone call and I was a bit tearful and emotional. And then I was like, she said, oh, like normally, she said there's a time scale as well. So sometimes people live for like up to 5 years. And you know, you go into Google Overdrive, right? When you hear the word dementia, you start, the internet's the devil, by the way, like for things like this. Do not go to the internet for medical conditions. So he was looking at it, and then it was like the lifespan. And I was like, oh my God, is my nan going to die like in a few years? And then I took a step back, and I was just like, do you know what? Nan's here, and I'm quite blessed because I have friends who have never had grandparents, and I've had people who have never like had the relationship or the like. Nan used to babysit me when I was a baby because Mum went back to work. She babysat my daughter, and I have people who've never even experienced that. So I sat back, and do you know what? I just thank God that I've been able to live that, and I've been able to build beautiful memories. And she's still here, like she's still here. So I have to be thankful. Like, we have hard days, like. A dementia journey is really hard, and like we have some real hard days, but we have some great days. And the lady said, you know what it's about? It's about accepting her as she is now, and this new woman that you've got. And there's going to be parts of her that bring out the old grandma, the old mum, and believe me, there are. But she said, create more memories, create wonderful memories. And we've been doing that. And we've got so many photos, so many stories, and like, it's wonderful. So part of the dementia journey, I've met some other people, or I've randomly like shared a story, and I've found that there have been so many people with dementia, but there's not anything really to support. And they were talking about dementia cafes, and I was looking at where they are in Luton, and I couldn't see like a lot of dementia cafes. So there is one, I'm going to tell you, there is one in Sundon Park on a Tuesday, and I think it's called Young at Heart. So I did take Nan to that, and we did go, but it's very different to what I want to do. So they're very musical, which is fine, and it's great. Nan has a good time. She loves a bit of music, and they open up with your YMCA to get everybody active. So she liked that, and she's a very musical person. But I'm looking to set up a dementia cafe that's a bit more local, in the town area, not as far out as Sundon Park. So we've managed to get Beach Hill Methodist Church. Thank you, Beach Hill Methodist Church, who have been great and have said that we can use that. And I've decided to do it on a Saturday. And I say a Saturday because a lot of people work during the week, right? And I want this to be somewhere where someone's daughter, someone's grandchild can go with them to these clinics and spend some time, have a bit of respite, be able to talk to other people who are experiencing the same kind of issues, and maybe like get some takeaways from it. So I am looking to set up. I'm saying looking. We are launching. We are 100% launching.
Come correct.
On the 6th of April. And we are going to be launching 11 to 1. There is a flyer getting done. So my lovely cousin Paris does marketing, and she is doing the flyer for us for the Dementia Cafe. So we are launching on the 6th of April. This will be between 11 to 1. We will have someone from the Alzheimer's Society there who will be doing a presentation and talk about dementia specifically. She will also be there to answer any questions that you may have.
Look at her. She raises
I could talk on, but I'll stop now, just in case you want to say anything. Sorry.
No, you don't be looking at the time, love. We ain't.
Oh, okay.
Did you not hear? He's at home. I'm at home.
We could just carry on talking. No, that's
fine. What you're giving here is vital information. Okay. Seriously, it's vital information. And when we say it, Nike knows. Nike, I'm going to bring you on in a minute. And we sort of say share. It's a case of like, this is how people's mindset is. I haven't got dementia. I don't know anybody with dementia. So why would I share this clip? The reason you would share this clip is you may not, but I guarantee that you know someone, or maybe somebody you don't even know, you share this. And it's like, oh my gosh, we then want them to share, because everybody along the line knows somebody. Because way back, it was something like dementia. I think I may have spoken about, right? Now, I don't know what the statistics are, but it is very, very more common.
It's so common now. Like, it's quite scary. And I've had so many people. So I just want to say as well, there's been so many people who's been sharing, so many people who's been messaging me. Thank you so much just for taking the time out. And I've met some amazing people with so many amazing stories of dementia, or their parents or some family members who've had it and like gone through experience. And guys, this is for you. This is for them. Like, for anybody who's going through the dementia battle, let's do it together. Like, literally, let's do it together. I am more than happy to hear your ideas or input. So I've spoken to a few people who I know who've had it, and they're like, well, it'd be good to have this or good to be doing that. Please feel free, message me. I'm all here for it. If you want to get involved, if you want to volunteer, like, just let me know. There is nothing that is impossible with this. So let's just go all the way as far as we can, and let's all work together.
Excuse me, Michaela.
Sorry.
I'm really you on Nika's bed, itching to say something.
Hey, Nika.
Oh my God.
Well, obviously we've talked about sharing. The launch is on the 6th of April. When are you going to get the flyer? No.
So she's sunning it up in Australia right now with her grandma.
We're not interested in her
so
sunning up in Australia.
So she's literally just said, I am doing the flyer. So it should be here this week sometime. So we will get the flyer out, I promise, but it is on the 6th of April, definitely.
Oh my God.
11 to 1. But we will have a flyer, official flyer.
What do you need? We have masses of people out there. Remember, 999,000.
Yeah, she did try and scare me, guys.
What? She may be back in any second now, hopefully. Hopefully it's temporary. Maybe she set her system so that at 12:30 or so, it's just cut her out.
No, she's coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back.
So
what
I'm going to ask her is, this is why we do the show. And I said to Michaela, she's probably going to log back in, is to ask when she comes back on, we're going to ask her, what does she need?
Yeah.
Because there may be things. There may be things. I'm bringing you back on, Michaela.
Oh, there she
Guys,
is.
sorry, that was Grandad calling me. He was Alexa calling me. So we got Grandad. So Rimdan's dementia diagnosis, like, we got them an Alexa in the house. I got Grandad an Alexa. So he likes to video call me on the Alexa and say hello. He also likes to listen to my Spotify account. So whenever I'm going somewhere on the way to work, I get kicked out because Grandad's listening to it in Nan's living room. So that was him interrupting the call, guys. So I do apologise.
Oh, we love Grandad. Let me tell you, your Grandad is now legendary, as far as I'm concerned. I love it. Absolutely love that.
I just said, Michaela, that This is the 6th of April. So people were like, oh, I didn't know. We're telling you, and we're telling you to share 6th of April. What do you need, apart from people to obviously attend? Is there things that you need, whatever that might be, that we can put out there to people, and somebody might know somebody who can help you?
So I have gone out and bought a whole lot of like colouring books, knitting stuff, fidget toys, some dementia pets. If you guys have any colouring books, colouring pens, knitting stuff, just like jigsaw puzzles, some simple jigsaw puzzles, please, I will gladly take them. I do have one of my friends called me the other day and she was like, oh, Michaela, I've got a really nice, so she's quite prim and proper and likes to have afternoon tea and bought lots of fancy china, right? So she's bought lots of this fancy china. So she's like, oh, Michaela, you can have them for the Dementia Cafe. I was like, I don't think I really need like your fancy china. She's like, no, just take them. It doesn't matter if it breaks or not. My husband will just be glad I've got them out of the house. So she's like, they're all yours. She's like, I've got 50 cups and cakes, 50 cups and plates, sorry, that you can have. So if you've just got any bits that you think would be useful for the Dementia Cafe, if you would like to volunteer for the Dementia Cafe, that would be great. I am also looking for a counsellor. I would like somebody to be able to come in and just be able to talk to some of these carers and just someone for them to vent to. Like, I can listen to conversations, but I am not a qualified counsellor. And I've listened to a good few and I can only give my experience. So if I have anybody online or anybody who's available to come and do this, it would be great. We could even do it online if you can't get to Beach Hill Methodist Church. We can set up a room where they can go and use. And anybody who's got some services. So what I wanted to do as well was, I've seen at Hightown Recreation Centre, they do something for the elderly where they do like chair exercises. Yeah. So if there's anyone qualified in that, please let me know.
That lady that was at Vee's thing. There was a lady we met not last Saturday, the Saturday before. Oh, I've lost track of time. But, you know, when we went to that event, the first lady that stood up, that's what she does. She does chair exercises.
See, brilliant. So those kind of things. But and if you've got any other ideas or anything that you think would be good, that please just let me know. Just ping me, drop me an email, go onto Facebook, go onto Instagram. We are live there. I will get a telephone number for the Dementia Cafe. I just didn't want to give up my personal one.
We will share all of that information.
But
please
just let me know.
Michaela, it's great that you're starting something rather than what a lot of people do is moan about things and there's not this. Why not? Yeah,
I think I've sat and moaned for long enough, and like I've heard so many stories, so I'm like, let's do something. It could fail, it could go wrong, but we're gonna try. We're literally going to try, and that is all we can do. So, and I'm a bit scared, a bit excited, but do you know what? It's been so lovely to hear so many stories, and so someone told me like some random person shared who doesn't live like anywhere near here, but they shared it and they said like that. They lost their parents, but they both had dementia and there was no support. So I was like, thank you for sharing. I was like, this is for them. Like, they might not be here anymore, but this is for them and the next generation of people who have got to experience this. So, yeah.
Michaela, can I just ask you? So you're using the Beach Hill Methodist Church at 6. So is this going to be like a weekly thing, a monthly thing?
So I want to do this. I want to do it every week. I am going to start off doing it bi-weekly until we get the numbers in of people coming. So this means, guys, I need more of you to come here. For me to open this weekly, I need you to come to this centre, okay? I do want to open it weekly for a couple of hours every week. In the first instance, though, it will be bi-weekly. And when I say Dementia Cafe, okay, so guys, we're going to have like knitting, crochet. We're going to have some music in the background. We're going to have jigsaw puzzles, colouring books, arts and crafts. We're also going to try and organise theatre trips. We're going to try and organise like days out with picnics in the park when it starts to get warmer. Like, there's a whole variety of stuff that I want to do with this, but I need the people to do it. And I've heard so many stories of people with dementia. So guys, come down, come and have a chat, come and bring you. If you can't get there as well, please let me know. So we're not a registered charity as of yet, but I will set it up as a registered charity. So in the meantime, I will fully fund this. So if you need to get somebody there or you don't drive or you can't get there, please just ping me and we will sort out getting you a taxi or getting you and your elderly person. By the way, this is for over 70s as well. I have said dementia and over 70s, and I specifically said the older 70s because I have seen so many elderly people without having anybody to talk to, no family, and it's sad. So Nan we came back from St. Vincent and Nana was in hospital. Sorry, I could talk for ages, Dee. Please tell me to be quiet if you need me.
Don't you worry, when it's time.
Okay. So she was in hospital and when we came back from St. Vincent, this is another instance. So she had she got this cold flu thing. She was refusing to eat, refusing to go to the toilet for like a week. So they were like, she's keeping her in. We're keeping her in. I was like, oh God, here we go again. So then they were like, oh, you have to go home. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going home. They was like, you have to. I was like, okay, if I'm going home, she's coming with me and you're sending a nurse to the house to look after her every day. Okay, you can stay there. We're not giving you a bed. You have to sleep on the chair. Okay, that's fine. I'll sleep on the chair. And she was in a ward there was about 6 elderly people in the ward. And all night, there was this one elderly woman who was screaming the whole night through. No nurse came to see her. Like literally, I think they came in once and was like, there's other people sleeping. You need to keep the noise down. Come on now. What's wrong with you? This woman was old and clearly in pain. And I went over to her and I stroked her hand a couple of times. And then in the morning, like they were trying to feed her. She didn't want it. They literally forced the drink in her mouth. There was another woman who was cold. There was nobody there with her. And I left the window open, said the window needs to be open. So I went and helped her put her cardigan on because she was cold and struggling. But when you're in those hospital wards and you're on your own, there's nobody there. So I'm going to tell you this. If you have an elderly person in hospital, fight to stay there. Do not leave them there by themselves because they are not looked after unless you are there.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I've seen
they're
not,
and it's
online.
not, and I don't even blame the NHS. They just don't have the staff to do it. And so, like even the toilets were disgusting there. And I was like, people can't use those toilets. I was like, there's shit all over the toilet. Like they were like, it's like, when does it get cleaned? They was like, it gets cleaned once a day. I said, once a day in an elderly ward. I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like absolutely ridiculous. So look after your elderly people if they're in hospital. But so it was experiencing that and experience some next. So we've got a neighbour as well. I seem to be attracted to elderly people, and my gran made my daughter like because she looked after her. I walk through town with my daughter now, and literally she knows every old person. I hear hi, I'm like, who's that person? And she's like, that's Nan's friend's mum, and I'm like, oh my, like literally. And they also, a lot of them sit outside Tesco, right?
Yeah.
They sit outside Tesco and they just wait for their friends. And like Nan, now when I take her to town, I end up sitting outside Tesco, and it takes me 2 hours for one end of town to the other because she likes to sit and talk to her friends. So this is for them as well, experiencing it live through grandma and her friends. Just come, have a cup of coffee, have a chat, have some cake, biscuits. Like, so it's for them as well, like your elderly people, because I feel like they're a bit forgotten sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're important. They're important, and they need some love too, right? Like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Michaela Williams. Literally, I think, no word of a lie, Nikkei, this is how things work. And
I know.
Social media can be so many different things. It can be at the same time if you're using it the right way. And that is how I came across Michaela. And so happens, this is a church that my mum goes to. This is the same church.
And that is my mum and dad.
And my mum and her nan, they know each other. They know that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know.
Well, thanks to you, Dee. I'm getting there. I went out on Saturday like, oh hello. And I'm like, oh my God, I can still call myself a Lithuanian.
Oh, getting there.
I've got a question I want to ask Michaela, please.
Yeah, okay. So after that question, we will need to somebody's just commented, and I'm just going to sort of like put that on there.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them met outside Tesco from when they used to meet on a Friday after Vauxhall.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know what, it's habit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What they know, what they're familiar with, and all that sort of stuff. So that's probably why some people still do. Do you know what I mean? So that's amazing. Do you want to ask that last question?
Yeah, it's just a little question, because obviously I was backstage when you were talking, and then you mentioned about the test, about how they asked, and because I used to work for ELF, I used to work in Bedford and in Biggleswade, and I remember when I was in Biggleswade, actually I came across this piece of paper and I saw it, and it's all these questions where they had to draw their hands on the time. you know, and all of the type of questions there. And I remember thinking to myself, well, what's this for? And I remember the young girl said, oh, it's to test people with dementia. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. I had no experience of it whatsoever. But I remember challenging one of the doctors there. I said, well, why do you? And he did explain. He did give some sort of explanation that it's a general indication before they do further tests. But I just think if you're not told that at the offset, that it just wouldn't make sense. It's exactly the same way you said it. And now it sounds to me like they've even scaled back that is the test of that.
It was literally you go there. And we was there for over 2 hours. Like it was like an interview. Like literally like an interview. We was there for 2 hours. And then go home and then you get a phone call. Yeah, she's got dementia. Nothing we can do about it. It's vascular dementia. Someone will be in touch. We had one message from the Alzheimer's Society saying, oh, hi, we know that you've been diagnosed with dementia. This is our contact details if you need anything, and the website. There was nothing that was like, these are the facilities here that can help you. This is the support. This is kind of the steps of what you're going to see, like when it happens. And it was only when we was in the hospital the last time and the doctor was there and he was talking to Nan. And he was like, do you know what? He's like, you've done an amazing job. But he's like, you do know this is going to get harder, right? He's like, you are aware of that. And it's hard now. And I was like, do you know what? It's fine. And sometimes I have to keep myself, because Nan is like, if she has a moment, like she has a bad moment. So there's good days and there's bad days. So there might be a day where she might lash out if you tell her she can't do something. So she'll think that she can go and see her mum still, or her mum and dad still here. And I might be stopping her from seeing them. So this could be at 9 o'clock at night. And she's like, sorry, I remember you said no swearing. She'll be like, I'm going out of the house, right? So I then have to say, you're not going anywhere. I literally have to stand at the front door and she might want to try and hit me. So those are the hard moments. And then I'm like, sometimes you get really frustrated and you have to take a step back and realise she is actually not even comprehending that this person doesn't exist. And I'm like, you know, when you're sitting there sometimes getting angry and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But she generally doesn't know. And I literally have to take a step back out of the situation and talk to her like I'm talking to my child who's 10 and be like, okay, now we can go and see her another day, or because she just doesn't get it. And it's taking yourself away from the situation sometimes and putting yourself in those shoes. So I'm like, yeah, it's going to get hard. But do you know what? She's my nan and she's always, and I tell you, always looked after me. Like I've never had to because she's always looked after me as a baby. She always calls me her daughter. So even now when we can go anywhere, she's like, that's my daughter. And I'll be like, she's like, no, that's my daughter, my baby. And then, I think she thinks that my daughter's her daughter as well. Like Tiana's definitely, I was the favourite until I had my child. And then she took my space. Nan would say I was the favourite, then my kid kind of took the space. So I don't mind these painful moments. And there's not a week that goes by where grandma doesn't hold my hand and she tells me I love you. She says, thank you for everything you do for me. And you know that I'll always look after you. And I'm like, you've already looked after me. And that's the moments where I get grandma back.
Yeah.
And I know. And I am grateful because every single week I can experience, there's not a week that goes by where she hasn't had those moments with me or she just thanks me. Or even when she has a moment and I was like, Nan, you hit me. She'll be like, don't be so silly. I'd never hit you. You're my baby. And I'm like, okay, no, you wouldn't. But it's just testing if she actually remembers and she doesn't.
Yeah.
And so we're in the battle for the long run.
I just wanted to finish Michaela, is that with what you're doing, it's so important and we do appreciate you coming on. It's not just, obviously, yes, you're opening up in the cafe and obviously for your nan and all that goes with that, but it is so important, as in for carers. To get support.
Definitely is. It's hard. It's hard, guys. It's really hard.
You know, it's emphasising that also as well. So I think in terms of something that it's at its very embryotic stage that you're launching is going to see how it can build and how it can grow and how that venue will not be big enough.
Amen. Amen.
And if people are getting married and that, what are they supposed to do? You can't be in there then. They'll be kicking
if anyone knows of a venue in town, please let me know. Because message me after D. Like
Yes.
a more central location.
I have.
We did try and look for a central location, which I think would be a lot more ideal. But that
Yeah.
was the first place that gave it to us, and they gave it to us for free, bless them, to try it out and launch. So
Yeah, of course.
please,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
Definitely.
think it's
Have a conversation.
really yeah. Sorry.
No,
I'm
you
so
go.
excited.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say, what I've taken away is an amazing thing that you're doing is because you're putting people into the process. You know, what you described, how after your nan had those tests, and then, you know, you got this almost automated phone call away the Alzheimer's and
Yeah.
It's very process driven. Anybody can put a name into a computer and say this person has been diagnosed, but it takes people to actually move anything forward. So, you know, I so far have not been personally touched by it, but obviously I'm aware of it because of where I worked, and obviously because of people have shared their stories. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate it. It's just,
Thanks for having me,
amazing.
Guys.
So yeah.
For those that don't know, just going to wrap up now. Michaela, can you tell them when it is, the time, and we will obviously share that information.
This is going to be on the 6th of April, guys, 11 to 1 at Beach Hill Methodist Church in Luton. So that is the 6th of April, 11 to 1 at Beach Hill Methodist Church, and we will get the flyers out to you guys this week.
Fabulous, and we will be sharing that.
Thank you.
All the rest that goes with that. So please keep us updated.
Definitely will. Most definitely
will. We're following you anyway. We're following you, and we're going to want updates.
Will be updates.
So what about, you sort of said refreshments, that sort of stuff. Is that all planned? Or I don't know, there might be somebody here that, do you know what? We're doing like bring biscuits, bring coffee, tea, or
if you've got biscuits, if you want to provide biscuits and tea bags, please feel free. Otherwise, I do. So I will be funding it, and obviously, until I said we're a charity. So if you want to donate tea bags or biscuits, please feel free. There is no restriction.
Yeah.
Just nothing high in sugar, please.
Okay.
Yeah, that's key. So Michaela, thank you so much for your time today and sharing obviously all that information there. I know that we're going to get a lot of comments and people wanting to help and support. So thank you. Please don't disappear. I'm going to take you off screen for a moment. Don't disappear, because when the show ends in just a moment, we'd just like, myself and Nikkei, just like to have a word with you. So I'm going to remove you from the screen. So in case you're thinking like, oh, she said no.
Oh, you're getting better at this producing malarkey, T.
I don't know about that. So Nikkei, what a show.
I know. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Yeah,
just
always so much going on
about that test. It just rang that bell. Yeah. It's good. But it's also heartwarming to know that good things do happen in Luton. Because it comes up again. I saw something the other day and I just wanted to scream. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah.
Okay, now, me and you were showing off because we're both at home and we're hosting from home. Now, I don't know if you are aware that I can see something behind you.
Oh, what? My balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 21.
When? When?
I'm not saying.
Oh, what's the point of that? It's a bit irrelevant, isn't it? We can see something. It's not like it wasn't in the screen, because I wouldn't have mentioned it.
Do you know what, right? When I've been decluttering stuff, right, I was given this by my lovely young work colleagues when we went out on the 1st of December, and I just happened to move it. And then I was upstairs where I was moving stuff, and I looked at my watch, and oh my God, it's 12 o'clock, and I came running down the stairs. And I didn't bother to look to see what was in the view. So no, it was accidental.
If you're watching, guys, masses out there, this lady has been very, I don't know, whatever that word is. The way she's talking it is a case of like, that number is significant at some stage to her. So those blessings in abundance to all of us at Simply Deez.
Amen. I received that.
And the rest of the crew and the masses out there in abundance.
Thank you.
We are going to sign off now. We thank you all so much for joining us this week. Please, when we say share, if you don't know by now why you're sharing, then we got a question now. You're sharing because there's always important messages, and it may not be something that's relevant this week, but I guarantee somebody you know down the line will be grateful for the message that you've shared and passed on. So we have to thank Rachel Goff from Flying Start, who was with us earlier on, sharing Eat Well for Less workshops. They will be taking place, I'm sure it's next week. We will
next
be sharing
Wednesday,
information. We'll be sharing out that information. And obviously we've just finished with Michaela Williams, who is starting a Dementia Cafe at Beach Hill Methodist Church. And that is on Saturday, the 6th of April. And she's going to be starting fortnightly. And watch this space, as they say. So from Nike and from myself, we're going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys, and we will see you all next week with 2 more awesome guests.
Amen. And don't forget to let us know if you watch on the replay. We'd like to know these things.
#replay.
Yes, indeed.
That's it.